Okay, in this video we're going to review another item I just recently got. The Crossen Cartridge Former. What are we talking about? Well, when it comes to our black powder cap and ball guns, okay, these are a lot of fun. There's a lot of different ways to shoot them. Just put black powder and a ball in there, crank it down. Or, because of era's gone bullet molds, you have a conical bullet that you can make a combustible cartridge with, okay? And I've reviewed several different ways of doing this. You can go anywhere from buying this book, and this book explains how to make your own little tool, how to cut the thing out, and even replicate the packaging for making these combustible cartridges. With illustrations and photographs of original things. So this is good if you're a do-it-yourself type of guy and a hands-on type of person, and get the book and you can go for it. Now there are several other companies that have a more simplified version of making the combustible cartridges. And basically you need a few tools, and they're pretty simple. This is Cap and Ball's tool. And basically it's a block and a tapered mandrel. Okay, you wrap the paper around it and get a little round base, put a little glue on the end and just press it down into the block, and you form the cone, the paper cartridge itself. You would leave it in there, fill it with powder, press the bullet down, you apply a little bit of glue to that heel, put it in there, and then very simply put the cartridge together. This does work. And he has them in 44 and 36 caliber. Okay. Also, the reason I got these is because he also makes a pretty neat replica box that's reusable. You know, it just slides out and it's a wooden cartridge box. But go and see the video on that. And so, when it comes to using this base tool, and there's a whole bunch of other people out there that make something similar or make their own design and everything else, there's two things you do. You can either cut an exact size template of the cartridge and roll it on here, okay, roll it and glue it, or there's another method to where you cut the taper and you would cut a groove. And then what you would do is take an oversized piece of paper, a template, roll it on there, get it tight, slide it back, and then you take an X-Acto knife, trim the end off, and there'd be a groove on this to where you would cut it and then have an exact little tube that is tight. That's to kind of help you tighten the tube. And then go about it again using the block to do the final forming of the case. Well, I got these products, I reviewed them, and they all work, they're good. But my problem is I have a disability. So for me to cut the templates out, okay, and they send you, I have them here, which remains of them. You get the templates, you cut out the template, you put it on cardboard or heavy material, trace it, and then cut that and trim it to make a template. My problem is holding down the template and trying to cut it, and also a little bit on rolling the paper. I can do it if I wedge my arm against something and I can hold my hand steady enough to roll it. So I personally have a bit of a problem. So when Mark from Era's Gone was doing a review of a new product, I seen his video, and I'll tie it in. I contacted the man who made this, and I said, look, I see Mark from Era's Gone has, your product. I don't know how long he's been making it. I don't know how long he's been doing this, but this thing is taken off and it's popular as hell, and he's getting swamped. And the guy does it, like me, it's a hobby. He has a regular job, and he kind of come up with this idea. And Mark, because Mark's the guy that has the bullet molds made, he got it, started testing it, and so I asked him, I contacted him on Facebook, said, hey look, I got a channel, I'm really not into, the Civil War black powder thing, because you got Era's Gone, which there's a lot of information, and he does a ton of videos making original paper cartridges for all types of Civil War guns. Then you got the Duelist 1954, Mike Bellevue. He is a writer for one of the main magazines, the black powder magazines. So he kind of like does this reviewing and that for a living. He has a ton of interesting videos, and yes, he does all of this. And you also have a fella, I Like Western Guns, which he goes out and shoots a lot of guns. And last but not least, we can't forget our friend Cap and Ball, who has his own line of products and that, does a lot of these black powder guns. Check all their videos out, okay? Or check their channels out and the videos these guys produce. So everybody wants to be cool and make combustible paper cartridges for your Cap and Ball revolver. And everybody's got a way of doing it. And like I said, my problem is I not only making the tubes, but also when I do paper patching for bullets, I have trouble cutting out with templates. So this is why I've seen this product being reviewed, and this is why I kind of had to get this. And I contacted the man, explained to him that I have a YouTube channel and that I'd like to try his product out. And I didn't ask him for anything special. I paid him what he was asking for this. Okay, I paid him the price. I just said that if you send it to me, I'll do a video on it. So we'll take a look at what come in here, and I'll explain to you. This individual is really going out of his way to make a great product, and he's changing it. So if you're interested in this, I would say just give it some time until he gets caught up, because I'll explain to you what went on here. So let's take a look at what I got. All right, at this point, I'm going to tie in Era's Gone video. I'll put a card up and check this out. So I contacted you gentlemen last week. Today's Thursday, and I got the kit. And I told him I was using this pistol. I made a video, and I use 24 grains of powder in this particular gun, because if I use 25, the tips of the bullet hit the barrel on the way around. So he actually, from when I discussed this with him and asked him to buy it, he actually modified this kit for me so I can reload what I load and use. Oh, this is great, man. He even cut me a sponge because I went looking for one today and couldn't find it. So let's see what we got. We got a sponge. And this is where he made a modification. And he sent me a diagram. Okay? And he made sure I got this. So this explains how to use this. Okay, we got this. Alright, we have the frail part packed in here. Dowels and stuff. This is what the main reason I bought this because of this. Okay, he even cut me the sponges, so he saved me the trouble of buying the sponges, and included a jar, which this he didn't have in Mark's kit. He's adding this in there. The unit itself. Okay, the blocks. And that's about it. All right. So we'll go and take a look at all this once I get it all unwrapped. Okay, this is basically what the original kit entailed. All right, and that is under Era's Gone review. We have this powder funnel apparatus that goes up on here. and I'm going to go get the instructions on how to assemble it. Maybe I'll show you how to assemble it. We got a device for cutting the tubes and templates for the paper cases. We have assortment of tools and the 2 blocks and the shims, and then this here is a loading block. And I'll show you how all that works. So I'm going to open this up and try to figure out, I'm going to figure out how to put this on, and we'll assemble it, and then we'll take a look at what we got. Okay, what I'm going to kind of do is put this together, show you what came in the original kit, and then when I go to use it, we'll make a separate video using each thing. So how he designed this here, this block, okay, and this thing is, I mean, heavy duty and well made, well finished, quality, craftsmanship. The wood is done. This is all heavy brass. So the one thing you'll have to assemble is, this is a powder funnel. And if you noticed on the shaft, there's a fixed thing with the handle, there's 2 washers. So I believe, and then I think this can be assembled if you're right-handed or if you're left-handed. This is going to lift the powder funnel. So, and then the powder funnel itself, this goes into there, and you want the 2 washers. The powder funnel has these wing nuts that you can loosen, and it does 2 things. A, it's going to clamp onto this shaft, and B, you can adjust your distance to line your powder measure up perfectly. So we'll just unscrew this here. Remove the washer. Test fit it to make sure I ain't bullshitting you guys. Okay. We loosen these up, yeah. Loosen the wing nuts up. There it goes. Okay, and that's how you tighten the wing nuts to tighten this as per se. Alright, so let me loosen that up. Get it to its free sliding. And you would slide this rod through here. 1 washer there. Get it up underneath here. Okay. Slide that over. Washer here. And there is a metal insert in there. Okay, this ain't no BS. That's a insert pressed into this little wooden handle. Okay, tighten it down. Now, what this will do is, once you set this, you tighten these wing nuts down, and you can go for adjusting where the funnel goes, and then when you tighten down the wing nuts, it actually tightens this to the shaft, these 2 little nuts. And then you have your powder funnel. So you can put your case in, funnel comes down. But again, if you go to his website, he will show you all of that in detail. Okay? We have this here. So what I'm going to do is put that there for now, close that up. Alright, so here's the basic apparatus assembled, ready to go. What else you get in here is, this is a device for clamping down. Here's your form for your paper case, and you would clamp this down on the paper and then cut around with the X-Acto knife. I bought this just for this alone. For me, now, I can go and I can trim my paper templates so much more easier. And we'll go into the bag here and dump out this other stuff. How that works, also, he includes this nut. And what this does, it's got like a rubber band under there, and you pull this thing off. I believe, yeah, slip this off like that. And then you would take this on the paper, and what he uses is he just clamps down on this nut, he included one, and you cut around to make your bases for the paper cartridges. Okay? In the accessory bag here, there's a little tube of wax, some rubber bands, because his technique of finishing the cartridge, he ties a rubber band around this handle, but I'll go into that later. And also is this neat little device here. And what it is a piece of wire. And I'll show you exactly what it does. Here's a Johnson & Dow bullet. And there's a little grease groove on there. It just doesn't really snap in there. But it grabs the bullet like this. So now you can handle the bullet, put it in a case, glue it, all that other fun stuff with this tool. Okay, so you got that tool, you got the wax, you got some rubber bands. Keep these, I'll explain how they're used. You have the mandrel, and it's marked, and he actually gives you a little paper cup on there already made. Basically to show you an example of what you should have when you use this. So, and I'll explain the wax later. These here are a couple cardboard, the cardboard shim here, and another couple pieces of this wooden stuff. And then what this is if you see here, they're replacements. So when you're cutting on this wood and it starts to get to where it deteriorates and that, he gives you replacements so you can replace this. And the cardboard, I'm not quite sure, but we'll go over that when we find it. So all of this comes in here. All right. Then the other things with the kit will go, you got 2 blocks and a shim kit. And Mark kind of shows you how this all works. The one with the springs is for crimping the bullet, to finish the bullet when you're done. Okay? This other one here, without the springs, is when you're forming the cartridge, you would use this like this. This one is for forming the paper cartridge, the other is for assembling after you put the powder charge in. This block here works in conjunction with locking these dies, you can call them dies, in the apparatus. Okay, and you would pull this rod out. And another thing, this thing has a flat side to it, so you'd want the flat side facing in here. And I believe, okay, I'm sorry, I'm going to edit out and come back. So you have the device here. Like I said, there's a rod with a flat side on there. And this set of dies is for forming the paper case. It will go in here, and you have this shim block. And if you notice, there's a part glued on there. That's the side that's going to wear. So you would place this in like this, and then you slide this part here in, with the flat side. Slide it in, and then it would you rotate it to basically lock this all in, and then this lever here compresses the blocks like that, I believe. And that would be how we're going to form our paper. I got to go about this, and we'll do it step by step. But that's giving you a general idea how this works. Okay, and then the crimp block again goes in like this, and then that's where the rubber bands and that come into play when we all go to use the other thing. That's a general idea of what all this is. And he has a video on Facebook that shows all this. And these little extras are, when this wears, I mean, this guy thought of everything. When this gets worn, you can replace them, so they're spares. And last but not least, put all this back together. Included is a loading tray. And what you have is two sections. Holds, I think 36, yeah, 36. So what you would do is one tray will hold the bullets. So you put your bullets in there. Then when you take your little cups and finish the cartridges, you would place the finished cartridges in this deeper one. So you would go do the procedure, then place the cartridges in here to dry. So this actually serves two functions. One half is just to hold the bullets while you load, and then once the cartridge is formed in that, you would place it in the deeper one. All right. Now this is what he originally sent last week when I asked about this kit. This is what he included in this kit. Now, since then, he sent me a couple extra things. I guess he's changing as he goes, like every day. And let me show you what he has added on, which was not really included in the kit when Mark got it, and you see his video, and when I ordered this over a week ago. There's some extras that have been added in. Okay, what he has added in was, if you watch his video when he does it, he has this mason jar, and he saturates this sponge in here with a glue, okay? And then what you would do is take the bullet, and when the glue is in here, you would take the bullet, you dip it on a sponge and get glue around the base, wipe off the base, and then that is what would go into the cartridge like this, okay? Like that. So you see, I can do that one-handed and without no shaking or nothing, and basically that's what the whole idea is for all these tools, which is cool and helps me a lot, because trying to do it with two hands and my bad hand, I'm screwed. So after I talked to him, he included this in there, the mason jar, the little bitty mason jar, and he cut me 2 pieces of that sponge. I'm gonna have to go get another sponge anyway. It's that the big car washing sponge. So this was added on at no extra charge. Okay, he included this in the kit. And because I showed him or told him to go see my video, and he's seen my video where I stated that I use 24 grains, he also went and added in here. Okay, these blocks that I showed you come with the standard kit. He made me another block and redesigned stuff for me because I'm using a different powder charge. I think he was using a 25 grain powder charge. So what he sent me are these cardboard shims, okay? There's like 3 or 4 of them. And I guess how he's calculated this, if I take this block and use my powder charge of 24 grains in here, okay. Okay, if I put this modified block in there, as is, okay, I guess without a shim, that would be for my 24 grains. What I would do is take this cutout, this shim, place it underneath this, and then this block with the little shim under there would be the correct height to close the bullet for 25, you know, then 26, 27, I think up to 28, 27 or 28 grains. He told me experiment with it, shim this up, and he showed me a picture of the varying charges underneath and how it moves up and corresponds to the bullet. And he also sent it along with a diagram explaining what to do. Now, granted, you can go there and he does tell you the price. What this gentleman is asking for this device and all of this and the work he's putting into it is well worth it. Okay, because I had extra stuff that he designed in the last week, and then I seen a video this morning where he and I guess a few other people have said, you know, they had concerns or trying to get this device to work. He's redesigned these blocks again. Okay, and I guess he said that he will be sending the modified blocks out to any of us who've already purchased this kit. So I must honestly say the workmanship and that is worth it, and the fact that he's included, you know, extra stuff to help me adjust it, explained how to use this to adjust this or modification and everything else. This is well worth it, okay? I don't care by anybody's standards. And he included this, you know, the original price and kit. I would have to go out and you know, like buy this extra. This is included now, which I thought was pretty cool of him to do. This one, you know, punch like this. All right, so that in itself is well worth, all of this is well worth the money. All right, so what I'm going to do is, that's the general layout of the kit, and like I said, it's not changed. Also, this is only for the Johnson & Down bullet. He says that when he gets the time, he will make, you know, apparatus and blocks and dies for different calibers and different bullets. Okay, so if you're interested in it, I'd go for it. To me, it's worth the money, and the individual doing this has put a lot of time, a lot of engineering, and a lot of no BS stuff into this. I think this is a fantastic product. And what I will do now is I'll go one step at a time in other videos, like I'm going to form some cases. I might try that here in a few minutes and see what I can do. And that'll be a separate video, and I'll go over each thing and how you use all these little devices in the kit and what you do with it step by step. Okay? So let me close this out. Okay, so that's just a basic general overview. Please watch other people's videos. There's probably a lot of stuff I missed in here. But this device here is well worth the money. The individual who runs this company puts a lot of time and effort into engineering and thinking of every little problem that there is. You know, even to the point where everything can be replaced if it wears and all that other stuff. This is pretty amazing, okay, as far as I'm concerned. And there's just way too much going on here to make one video, so I'm going to go in steps with each little thing, forming the little paper tubes and all that, you know, using this thing to cut it, and go about it like that. But stay tuned, and he's already working on redesigning this and going to send some other stuff, so a lot to watch. It's pretty interesting. All right, guys, this is my first video. Stay tuned.